AI technology ruin language learning for you? My name's Chris, I'm a professional teacher, and the answer to the question is yes, it's already ruined now, but it is going to get much, much worse. And it's just a question now of speed of propagation of that technology and the tweaking of that technology. And before I get fully into it, I feel I should give you a bit of context, because when someone speaks as an insider to a certain industry, well, the outsiders don't necessarily see where the issue is, and this is what you may be thinking. Sometimes to see what you have, I find it very interesting to see what you could have had once you use your imagination, and I apply this to most things I do, but also to language learning. Today there are many solutions to learn languages, but also many solutions to keep you involved in language learning. They deliver the journey. But how many actually deliver the destination? Is there a place today where you can go in one door and out of the other and know the damn language? How many places do that? If so, why not? If there aren't many at all, if there are zero of them, if so, why not? And is this normal? Is it normal, for example, that the largest language provider on earth that we all know of, a fun little app, leads to absolutely nothing? Is this normal? If we look back 20 years, we saw the development and the acceleration of online language learning and all the apps and websites that made up a certain landscape. The landscape that we know today, what people didn't necessarily see is that all these digital solutions that we have today were the inventions of IT, marketing, business people who confuse can and should. And this is the first phase, for me, this is the first phase of utterly ruining language learning. What all these people did is that they had a technology, for example, app building or the internet, and decided to fit language teaching into it. That's the can part. But the technology wasn't specifically built to teach languages with. The real question that an educator would ask themselves is should. So it's should versus can. And this is the part that these people didn't look at. The IT, marketing, business people, and thousands of tutors also, that they're also guilty of the same thing. Many tutors all over the world, tutors and teachers, didn't look at this either. Examples include tutoring websites. It's not because we can build websites that welcome thousands of tutors who work for $6 an hour that we should. Maybe it was a stupid invention from the start, because now we've created a mental picture in the minds of people of what language learning is. Random chit-chats, the supermarket format, etc. Anything but studying, essentially. We saw this also with apps. It's not because we can build apps that we must necessarily attempt to fit languages into them. That's the should part. It's always should versus can. The answer is no. An app is a stupid idea to learn a language with, and it won't teach you a language. It really never will. But now many people believe that it's what language learning looks like, or at least that it's a valid solution. And I'm not necessarily targeting technology. I personally think the same thing about intensive learning weeks or language camps abroad. It's not because we can do them that we should. The real question is this effective? These language camps in full immersion and all that. So this is the first phase, which I would compare to a sort of large-scale amnesia. The initial definition of language learning versus today's definition. Today includes anything but repetition, anything but in-depth understanding, meta-reflection on your own learning practices, self-analysis, analysis of the language, perfection, trusting qualified professionals. It's the opposite of that. On the contrary, I found that it's come to the point where being rebellious today in language learning means being traditional, essentially, means having common sense. Telling a person, for example, to study something until they know it. It's almost odd to say this today. Study it until you know it. And also, of course, it has to be free in the minds of most people. It has to be free, or at least very cheap. Even if no one learns anything. Because that's also expected in a sort of very perverse way, and I'm not being jaded or cynical here. It's not an issue if you don't learn anything, I've noticed, because the journey is meant to be sustained. And if we're honest with ourselves, I think at the core of yourself, you know very well that when you use the Prepleys or the Duolingos, it's not really going to lead anywhere. You're not really going to learn anything. So what AI is going to do, the AI technology, and what they're already doing now, is that they're going to accelerate the propagation of recycled shit. One specific example is that, for example, an English teacher who's setting out, doesn't have much experience, so just setting out, will be able to make a whole website, a whole YouTube channel with teaching videos lifted from other people. You just download their script from YouTube, you jumble up the script, you have the AI software with your own voice read it out, and you synchronize that AI video of your own self, reading out something you don't know much about. You could literally make a video of yourself now, it's just a matter of tweaking the technology, but very soon you'll be able to make a video of yourself explaining something in Latin, taken from someone else's website. Even if you don't speak Latin, you don't know Latin, you're still explaining Latin because now it's synchronized with the video of yourself speaking on camera with your own voice. It's going to look hyper realistic. You'll be able to apply this to as many fields as you want. Legal, fitness, cooking, you name it. Two things are going to happen. The trust is going to go down to zero. You'll never know if what you're watching is even true. And you'll learn less well also, because there's a golden rule in teaching and in mentoring. You must believe in your mentor. If you don't believe in your mentor or in your teacher, it won't work. I was writing blogs on this years ago. If you don't believe that your teacher is the best in the world, and if they haven't shown you this in any sort of way, then you are likely wasting your time. If you have any sort of doubt, you can't doubt the person you're learning with. Your mentor must be perfect, flawless. They must inspire you. You must have absolute trust in their knowledge. So at the end of all this, when AI's propagated and accelerated and we have the technology to make our little fake videos, there's going to be very few professionals left over. That's my prediction. And all those that are interchangeable and have no personal angle will be squashed. No one will trust them anymore because they've put out so much teaching content. All those people who put so much teaching content on YouTube and other places, they've put out too much clutter, and it's going to be their downfall. All these language influencers with their millions of followers and their multiple videos that re-explain the same thing, because these are the videos that are going to be reused by other people. Their mediocre video from 15 years ago is going to be taken by someone, repackaged, republished, and it's already been done now. I have a learner of French, his name is Michael. He worked in IT for 30 years, and he said, Chris, it's going to be, but it's already now, it's already the case now. It's like everyone putting their dustbins, their trash out in the street, and everyone else picking up everyone else's dustbin and bringing it back into their house. You see a huge exchange of dustbins, trash, mess, rubbish. At the moment, learners of languages still trust these people, even though they're largely unqualified, but people buy personalities these days, and they also follow trends. So if you figure that this likable personality has 2 million followers or whatever, you figure, well, they must be good, they must be trustworthy. And also, I think many learners of languages don't know any better. They just go with what everyone else is doing, because they assume that the bigger the name on YouTube or elsewhere means that it's better in terms of quality. I think that all these followers, all these learners of languages will soon realize that the language gurus are interchangeable, especially since everyone else can reproduce their content. They don't have a personal angle, and I think trust will fall to zero. So that was my prediction of what is happening now. Language learning is already utterly ruined because too many people who were unqualified took over the industry. I've put out a separate video you can find on my channel that explains that any famous name, be it a solo tutor, a personality or a business, almost none of them, almost zero of them are actually qualified to do this. And AI is going to make it even worse, because all their mediocre videos, these mediocre people who have very large followings, everyone else is going to recycle their content. It's going to be absolutely dreadful. Trust will fall to zero, and there's going to be very few good professionals left. My name is Chris from We Communicate. I hope this was useful, or at least entertaining. See you very soon.